Anamorphic lenses are becoming more and more accessible. Their ability to create that iconic cinematic look with stunning flares, oval bokeh, and wide aspect ratio makes them a lens of choice for cinematographers of all levels. But while they look amazing, working with anamorphic lenses come with its own set of technical challenges. So before you join us on the anamorphic bandwagon, it's important to understand how these lenses will affect your images. From choosing the right anamorphic factor based on your sensor to selecting your final aspect ratio and learning how to process your footage in post-production, there's a lot more to it than just mounting the lens on your camera. So if you're curious about using anamorphic lenses but want to avoid common mistakes, this video will give you the knowledge and confidence to get it right. Anamorphic lenses were developed to address a specific challenge in filmmaking: how to capture wide cinematic frames on a 35mm film, which naturally has a more square aspect ratio of about 4:3. With standard spherical lenses, achieving a widescreen format meant cropping the top and bottom of the frame, essentially throwing away valuable image areas on the film stock. Anamorphic lenses offered a brilliant solution. By optically squeezing the width of a wide scene to fit within the full height of a 35mm frame, they allowed filmmakers to use the entire film stock without any cropping. In post-production or during projection, the image would then be de-squeezed in order to restore its proper widescreen proportions, typically a 2.35 aspect ratio, or sometimes the even wider 2.4, also known as 2.39 aspect ratio. This process not only preserved the resolution, but also gave the footage a unique look that became synonymous with cinema. So while anamorphic lenses were originally a technical innovation, they've become a creative tool that filmmakers use to achieve both practical and artistic goals, giving their visuals that unmistakable cinematic quality. Today, anamorphic lenses come in different squeeze factor, like a 1.33, 1.5, 1.8, or even a 2, allowing you to squeeze wider frame into your sensor. Now, one of the most important aspects of working with anamorphic lenses is understanding how the squeeze factor interact with your camera sensor's aspect ratio. It's not about the sensor size, but more about its shape, its aspect ratio. Today, in the digital era, most mirrorless or mid-level cinema camera like my FX6 or even the Red Komodo use sensors that are designed for a wider screen image rather than the 4:3 film stock ratio. Using an anamorphic lens on a widescreen sensor amplifies the already widescreen image captured by the sensor. For example, the Atlas Mercury lenses we use on a recent project have a squeeze factor of 1.5. When paired with the FX6's 16:9 full-frame sensor, the captured aspect ratio becomes approximately 2.66, which is much wider than the traditional cinematic aspect ratio of 2.35 or 2.39. While this can create stunningly wide composition, your only option to deliver a 2.35 or 2.39 aspect ratio is to push in and crop the side of the image, reducing the resolution if you want to stay in 4K, and can compromise framing if you didn't plan for it during the shoot. Using larger squeeze factor will result in the image needed to be even more pushed in and cropped. So before using anamorphics, you need to make a decision on the aspect ratio you want to use, do a little research and calculation to understand how much cropping you'll need to do in post-production in order to know how to frame your image on set. Many modern cameras and monitors offer anamorphic de-squeeze mode so that the image displayed in your viewfinder or on your monitor will appear as intended. You're still recording a squeezed image, but you can see the final aspect ratio. External monitors like my Atomos Shogun go a step further, allowing both de-squeezing and aspect ratio framing, where it's cropping the display image, showing you exactly what the final image would look like. Now, this is very helpful when framing your shots. Now, in post-production, the first step is to de-squeeze your footage. In DaVinci Resolve, you can select all your clips and adjust the pixel aspect ratio to match your lens squeeze factor, 1.5 in our case. When creating your timeline, make sure your resolution matches the desired aspect ratio. So for a 4K film with a 2.35 aspect ratio, our dimension needs to be 3840 by 1634. I like to select the option Scale Full Frame with Crop. That way, when I bring a clip to the timeline, it already is pushed in to fill the frame. But you can also leave this on center crop with no resizing and push each clip manually if you prefer. Using anamorphic lenses for the first time was an incredible learning experience. They added a level of cinematic quality that standard lenses simply cannot replicate. With the right preparation, understanding their effect on aspect ratios, planning your composition, and following a clear workflow, you can unlock their full potential. I hope this guide helps you in your journey with anamorphic lenses. If you have any question or want to share your experiences, let me know in the comments. Now, thank you for watching this video until the end, and as a token of my appreciation, I'd like to offer you my free camera setting cheat sheet. Just follow the link below to download your free cheat sheet. Thanks again, and happy filming.